What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Wise here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders. Today is no different. I have Humberto Bejarano, and you can check him out at Beanstalk-growth.com to learn more. Before I formally introduce you, Humberto, I'm going to share a couple of their episodes people can check out on the podcast that have been some fan favorites. Since this is part of the Top Agency series, I had Kevin Hurrigan on. Kevin Hurrigan runs Spinutech. He's had an agency, HB, since 1995. So it was interesting to hear his experience of the business world, the internet, world, the landscape of the agency world through the past couple of decades. So that was an interesting episode. Another one was Adi Clevitt. Adi Clevitt is an agency that does done-for-you SOPs for companies. So she comes in, helps smooth out the onboarding process, client onboarding, staff onboarding, and helps document the processes. So we kind of geeked out on our favorite productivity tools, softwares, and everything like that. So that was an interesting episode as well. That and many more on InspiredInsider.com. This episode is brought to you by Rise25. Rise25, we help businesses give to and connect to their dream relationships and partnerships. How do we do that? We do that by helping you run your podcast. We're an easy button for a company to launch and run a podcast. We do the strategy, the accountability, and the full execution. So HB would call ourselves the magic elves that run in the background to make it look easy for the company so they can create amazing content, create amazing relationships, most importantly, run their business. For me, the number one thing in my life is relationships. I'm always looking at ways on how I can give to my best relationships, and I found no better way over the past decade to profile the people and the companies I most admire and share with the world what they're working on. So if you've thought about podcasting, you should. If you have questions, go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25.com. I'm excited to introduce Humberto Bejarano. It goes by HB. He's co-founder of Beanstalk. He leads business development and client success teams. They help companies with their growth marketing, such as the London, Qualico, Blue Mountain Signs, and many, many more. And I'm excited to dig in. HB, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Jeremy.
So
Appreciate
just start us off and talk about Beanstalk Growth Marketing and what you do. I'm going to pull up the website so people can check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So Beanstalk Growth Marketing is a full-service digital marketing business development agency. We're based in Calgary, but we serve clients across Canada and the U.S. We're your kind of full-service solution provider. So we do everything from branding and identity. We build websites, we do social media, we have a media production team, SEO, you name it. So any business that's kind of looking to, either take a second opinion on or is looking to kind of grow in a different direction using omnichannel marketing strategies, that's kind of what we do.
Talk about how did you decide to first start the agency?
Yeah, so I actually have been in the industry for quite a long time. I started 15 years ago. I actually worked for a large media company, and I was, one of the top reps there. And I learned very quickly things that you shouldn't do with your clients and things that you maybe should do. And basically, things weren't going the way that I really anticipated, and so. Just prior to COVID, we kind of decided I merged with another person who also owned a nightlife and media event marketing company. And together we kind of built a company called Sound Alliance, which was more in the nightlife, creative, nightlife media event space. And we decided that there was no better opportunity than to pivot into the actual corporate world, help SMEs. And so we rebranded to Beanstalk. And ever since then, we've been fortunate enough to grow every year. And although we're a young agency, we've accomplished a lot.
Talk about the decision to merge for a second. I know there's people out there that maybe they've worked closely with other people. Maybe they refer clients back and forth. Talk about, that's a big decision. You could keep kind of going, people can keep going down that path, but some decide to do that merge. Talk about why you decided to do it and how it went.
So are you specifically referring to making the jump to, start the agency?
Yeah, to merge. You said you merged with another agency. The decision to merge because you're bringing on
Yeah.
essentially, like a business partner at this point.
Yeah. So long story short, his company, it didn't have the potential to be doing the type of stuff that we could be doing at Beanstalk. So with my kind of experience with SMEs and his experience in the marketing event, and he kind of had the structure already in place, we decided to kind of form those two. And I'll tell you that it's very valuable having a business partner, but it also can create a lot of headaches in the process. But it's good to have somebody that can challenge you and somebody that's different than what you are, right?
When you first started the agency, what was the first milestone client for you?
So I don't know if I should be sharing this, but I'll share it anyway. So I built a lot of trust with some of the clients that I had previously at the other company, and based off of the same thing that you said, which is respecting your relationships. They trusted me. So I planted that seed, and I did end up, basically taking with me 5 of my larger clients. And that's kind of what helped us get our foot forward with Beanstalk. And it helped us actually with some recurring revenue where we were able to hire some more people, create some systems, et cetera, and just went up from there.
I know people have an evolution of the type of services they offer at their agency. I'm curious what that evolution looked like for you. What did you start in the beginning? What services were you offering compared to, I know you offer a lot more now. What did you start with?
Yeah, so the kind of lowest hanging fruit has always been websites. When we first started the agency, we were selling websites for I think it was $99 a month for 12 months. So
No upfront cost. It was just 99 bucks a month.
$99 a month for 12 months. And it was very kind of templated sites, but as we kind of developed and grew, we realized that was not sustainable. And so we started offering more kind of custom solutions, offering still the templated, but more customizing it according to what the client's needs were. And then also, different clients require different, features, accessibility, et cetera. So it's one of those things that you learn very quickly that, $99 a month on a 1-year contract is not really the scalable business, right?
Yeah, so you started off, you did a lot of websites, web dev. Then what was the next service that you discovered from there that you offered?
We kind of always started offering, the website, your paid advertising. So, your Google ads, Facebook ads, Meta ads, et cetera, and SEO, because they kind of all go hand in hand. But where we really started to kind of take a different approach is when we started to create and look at the power of omnichannel marketing, which is basically leveraging all of the platforms that are out there to form one cohesive strategy. And that started kind of transitioning the results that we were getting for some of our clients. And it kind of springboarded, some of our successes. And so we found that, you shouldn't just put your eggs into one basket. You should really diversify and try everything and use data to see what sticks and pivot from what doesn't stick, right?
HB, I'm curious, a lot of people I talk to, it's not like when they were young, they're like, I want to be an agency owner someday. When you were growing up early on, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a lot of different things. I mean, I definitely wanted to be some sort of, my dad was an engineer, so he wanted me to go in that realm. I didn't want to, I wanted to be everything from an astronaut to a rapper to a celebrity, an actor. So I had a lot of kind of.
Did you ever, were you in a band or did you rap at some point or no?
I did.
I'm not going to ask you right now to do it, but I have asked people on the show to rap. And one guy, Greg Roulette, told me he opened for Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, okay, do something. He did not do it, but I did clip I found on YouTube him rapping, and I put it on the back end of the interview. So if I find some, I don't know if there's a video out there, but
No,
I'll
no.
I'll scour it.
No, I don't think there's anything out there, or I hope not, at least, for my client's sake. But no, I mean, I always knew very young that I was very kind of effective in sales. I just always did really well in sales. So, my earlier, I sold everything from cable and internet to, cat wires and solar panels, etc. So
Was
I
it
always
door
did
to
that sales.
door? Like for those,
No,
because I
no.
know people who do like door to door, like solar stuff, and it's hardcore.
Yeah, no, I never did anything door to door. It was always over the phone or email, right? I've always kind of been a very good emailer. I guess been pretty good with words on a page. So I always knew that I was going to end up in some sort of sales capacity role. And along with my business partner now, he came from the oil and gas world where he took a lot of training in regards to project management. And so he kind of handles the project management side of things while I kind of lead our business development and sales teams.
What do you find mistakes that people make in sales? I'm sure you're training the team. I mean, we all get pitched a lot. We get on the phone. What are mistakes that you find people or companies are making with
So
their sales process?
the biggest thing we teach our sales reps is that you don't need to go into something and just automatically product pitch or promo pitch. You really need to take it a step back and just really understand, their pain points, right? So whether you're talking to a specific industry and then providing those solutions as part of those pain points while you're actually pitching. And resonating with somebody that is facing those same problems, it becomes a different conversation. You're no longer trying to sell them something. You're just letting them know, hey, we understand you, and we're providing a solution to help you fix what the issues are, right?
So it's kind of goes into understanding the pain points, providing
Absolutely.
solutions and educating them on, how it could help, essentially.
Absolutely, yeah. And get away from, talking about who you are, what you've done, anything about you specifically. You just got to listen, right? You got to listen carefully and take all those arrows that they're feeding you. And then eventually there's a time where you're going to throw those arrows back, right?
Yeah. So it's focusing on them, listening, and really understanding where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
Talk about the evolution of the growth of the team. Obviously, it started with you to begin with,
Yeah.
and then what were some of the key positions you put in place?
Yeah, so I mean, very early on, we had to, hire some developers. At one point they were junior developers. Now we have junior developers, senior developers. We have a project management team, so creative strategists, project managers, project coordinators. We have appointment setting team, so anybody that is kind of interested in working with us, our appointment setting team will reach out. They'll schedule a team with our marketing specialist to kind of understand the needs, make sure that it's a good fit. And then we also have, your ad managers, your SEO strategists. We have UI UX designers. We have graphic designers, junior developers, senior developers, as I mentioned, social media managers, et cetera. And then along with our team, we've also invested very heavily in a lot of different software solutions, automation tools, to make sure that our company can be efficient and run the way it needs to. And so that we kind of don't get lost in being able to fulfill our clients, right?
What are some of your favorite software tools that you use from like a tech stack perspective?
We use a lot of things. So we use, Slack for communication. We use Trello for project management. Obviously Zapier for automation. We use Zoom, Google Meet, Google Workspace. We use a lot of AI tools. I mean, everybody that says that they don't use AI, they're lying. So your ChatGPTs, your Geminis, and there's more and more tools that we use in regards to just very specific things within our projects as well. So for example, can't even think right now, but there's a lot of other tools that will do a lot of different things that are, AI generated tools, and there's tons of them. I just can't think of any in this moment.
No, I got it. What about apps? Are there any like personal, apps on your phone that you are go-to apps? It could be fitness apps, it could be productivity apps, it could be business apps, but like what are some of your favorite, do you have any favorite apps that you are using a lot on your personal phone?
It's all work related. So Slack is on my app, Trello is on my app. Um, I don't.
All the same tools, just on your
all
phone,
all the same tools. I mean, I use like FitLog for tracking my workouts and things. I don't track my food or anything like that, but I'm not an Instagram or a Facebook user, but I do like Snapchat. I think it's a little bit more
You do?
personalized.
Why?
Yeah, I do. I guess I'm not super young, but I'm that younger generation that is more on
I guess I
Snapchat.
picture like, I don't know, my bias, I picture like a 12-year-old using Snapchat. I don't know if I even have a Snapchat account.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
I don't use TikTok, right? So I'm not a TikTok user.
Yeah.
But my wife, she uses TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. I just like Snapchat because it's a little bit more personalized, and the people that you really want to see your things in your life are, and I only share things about my daughter and stuff like that. But in regards to, being invested in this world, I also think it's very invasive. So I stay away off of social media as much as I can.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit about the work you do through some clients you've worked with. There was an interesting one, Medical Education Academy, and talk a little bit about what you did there.
Yeah, so we basically revitalized the website. One of the biggest things was, there's a lot of medical students that are looking to either get tutoring or have courses that will help them pass some of these complex medical exams. So we worked with a company where, we kind of modernized their website, made it very easy for them to create a platform where, students could ask questions. So we integrated, WhatsApp and Telegram. We created the course option so you could purchase directly on the website. And they're quickly becoming a national kind of player in medical education training. And so if anybody is, wanting to, get some courses for some medical education programs, you can check out drabzi.ca. And I think it's Dr. Abzi. Yeah, drabzi.ca. They do, medical licensing exam preps.
Cool. Put it in the chat if you could, real quick. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me one second.
Yeah, as you're doing that, I'll pull it up and we could take a look, and then you could maybe point out some things that were important to include, right? Because obviously, you looked at the website and different things that they should, and maybe there's certain things they shouldn't be doing before you got a hold of it, right? So I'll pull it up here. Maybe talk about some of the key features, and then people can use this for their own website. Like what are some best practices here that we're seeing that people can use for themselves?
Yeah, so I mean, here it's just about making the navigation very intuitive and very specific to the students that are looking for specific prep courses. A lot of this stuff is very kind of complex, and so if you go into the MCCQE1, which is one of their more popular courses, and just go into Calgary or Edmonton.
Do they do it in person, or is it virtual?
Yeah, so you can actually purchase a course, but you can also do it in person. So you can schedule an appointment there. But it's kind of very kind of a comprehensive, in-depth look at what you can expect. And there's a lot of different things, components on here, but it's almost like you need to take out all that complexity and just simplify it so that anybody that is looking at this information says, okay, you know what? it's also about the reviews, right? They have excellent reviews. And then if you're interested, you can actually open up WhatsApp or Telegram and ask more questions. There's a community there that will be able to kind of, assist, and you can learn more about, how long it takes, what the, passing rate is, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of really kind of, it's just a way on how you kind of present that information. And Dr. Abzi is a really, kind of good leader for the academy. He's kind of developed all these training courses, and he is a doctor himself. So, it's just, making it very kind of streamlined, easy to understand, and showing the success that the company has had.
How did they find you?
You know what? I'm not 100% sure, right? So I'm not 100% sure.
It's always interesting to hear kind of the sometimes there's a winding road behind that. What about I know you helped an e-commerce company in the automotive space. What did you do there?
Yeah, so this is just a recent small business that reached out to us. Typically not a project that we would kind of take on, but the need was there, and so we decided to kind of give it a shot. So again, one of the biggest things that we noticed is the conversion. The client had spent thousands of dollars on driving traffic to a website that just wasn't converting. And so we completely redid the website. We did some custom videos of people demonstrating the product. We ran ads, and, for a business that didn't make any sales previous to us, we were able to, make, we went from basically $0 to $50,000 in product sales for a $200 product in under 6 months. So the client's actually been very, very happy with us. We're now starting to kind of expand and run campaigns in France and Japan, because we kind of deem that there's a market there for this product. And so, those are just kind of two small examples of some of the clients that we've helped, but we've done lots of things in logistics and training, and we do a lot of stuff in home services and beauty. And so, whether you're a person that does renovations, or you do ceiling texturing, or you have a law firm, whatever it is, we don't necessarily put ourselves in a box. We'll work with anybody. We just really like to understand the needs first, and then see if it's a good fit with our process and our team.
What was the hardest position to hire for? I know you mentioned there's a lot of departments, and from SEO, UX, UI, project management, developers. What's a hard one?
Sales is always the toughest to hire for, right? It's not necessarily about your sales skills. It's also about how well you are with, people, right? And it's just one of those positions that it just is, it can seem very daunting, and it can demoralize you quick, right? And so, I think sales is the toughest position in any company, right? Whether you're an AE, an SDR, a business development rep, a sales rep, et cetera. Like, I think that every single sales position has its challenges.
In the hiring process for sales, what are some of those items that you make sure to ask, or what's part of the sales or hiring process that's important when you're hiring a sales person?
Yeah, so I mean, we really like to understand, how. So first off, I don't actually take part in the first interview. We have an HR coordinator that kind of gauges. So we do a video submission. So if you are interested in one of our positions, they do have to submit a video, and they go through kind of a specific process. But we like to find out, okay, what's important to you in sales, what kind of drives your your commitment in moving forward. So are you money driven? Are you recognition driven? These two types of salespeople they can be very different. So somebody that's money driven, you might want to increase the commission structure, right? Somebody who's more recognition driven is probably looking to move up. So I think it's just understanding the type of person that you're dealing with. I don't think I answered your question, Dr. Jeremy, and it kind of...
No, I mean, actually, yeah. So like it starts off with a video submission,
yeah,
right? And then you weed people out. What's the next step in the process?
So next step in the process is they meet with our HR coordinator, right? And her name is Stavi. So she would, kind of meet with them, understand who they are as a person. We don't necessarily look for the best skills or anything like that. I mean, we do, but one of the biggest things that we kind of prioritize at Beanstalk is our culture, right? So, we don't care where you're from, what your background is or anything. We just want you to have a good, positive attitude, somebody that's a go-getter, that can be accountable. Accountability is a big part of our company, and that can express our tagline, which is integrity by design, growth as a result. So somebody who has that integrity and is looking for a place where they can grow, right? And then afterwards they would typically meet with me probably for a one-on-one, and that's where I just get to know you a little bit on more of a personal level, and really understand the services that we sell, specifically things like SEO. It's a beast of a service. So what that basically means is it's not something that you can learn in 3 or 6 months. It's always changing. It's always evolving. There's always new, updates. And so there are learning curves. So we do like to work with people who have been in this industry. But that's not always like the,
requirement.
Yeah, that's not always a requirement. Exactly.
Yeah, so those video submission, they may be with the HR person. If they get through the kind of the culture, are there certain specific questions you're asking to see? Because it's tough, I think, in an interview process to go, well, this person, I mean, people usually come across well and maybe come across as having a good attitude, right? Or accountability. What are some of the things you may ask in that process to kind of weed out people who are a good interviewer?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that we ask is obviously, what have you sold? Like what is the dollar amount, or what specific industry have you sold in? There's things like, high ticket offerings, which, somebody that has that experience would be a good salesperson. Have you done face to face? Are you good, with trade shows, things like that? I think would help weed things out. We always look for somebody that has cold calling and cold email experience. Cold calling because, again, it's one of those things where, you get told 100 no's, but you need that person that doesn't get fazed by that. You need that person that can keep going on for another, 100 no's to get that one yes. And cold emailing is, emailing has become one of our big kind of key frameworks of how we position our company, to be a little bit more than maybe some other standard companies. And so somebody that has that email marketing knowledge is a good asset for us. There's not really any honestly specific. I mean, we probably ask a lot of different questions. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. But really,
it's kind of gleaning. It seems like just learning from what past experience do they have. So asking questions along those lines, like what have you sold, and learning, because I guess past experience, past results can dictate future results too.
Yeah, and we like people that educate and train themselves, right? So if they mention, any specific, of those like sales gurus that are out there, the only one that I can kind of come to my head right now, Jeremy Lee Minor. So if they're invested in what they're doing, which is sales, and they talk about sales, and they follow people that are doing sales, then that also adds some kind of brownie points, right? So hopefully that answers your question.
Definitely. Yeah. I have one last question.
Sure.
HP, before I ask it, I'm curious, your mentors, it could be, actually your personal mentors in business, or distant mentors, meaning there's books or, resources in certain industries that you like. But before you answer that, I want to point people to check out beanstalk-growth.com. You've seen it on the screen. To learn more, you can check out more episodes of the podcast on Spread Insider as well. Just tell us a little bit more about some of your mentors. It could be throughout, the years from a business perspective, or maybe it's books or resources from that distant mentorship side.
Yeah, so I started off in the same kind of position, like an entry level, like telemarketing, cold caller, dialer, and one of my mentors, was a guy who, when I came in, I saw what he was doing, making 150 calls a day, but he wasn't taking no for an answer. He was very persistent. He would follow up. And to this day, I still talk to him. I mean, we both went separate directions, but he was one of the big kind of driving points in that specific position, where I realized that you can't just sit around and not do anything. You have to go get what you want, and that actually pivoted me to be able to obtain a outside sales role with that same company where I was very, very effective. And I was there for many, many years. And that was then before, the launch of Beanstalk. And so I think that specific mentor, I won't mention his name. He knows who he is if he sees this. But he did, he was one of the guys that everybody looked at, and he won a ton of awards. And he was always just a very kind of positive guy, and didn't let the job itself get to him. So if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I would have pushed myself. It also helped that I sat right next to him for the majority of my position as an inside sales rep, until I was moved to outside sales, which he also was moved, and we both did very well. So yeah.
Any resources that you've studied throughout the years that have been helpful for you? It could be books, it could be courses.
Yeah. One of the things that helps our sales team specifically is 30 Minutes to President's Club. So there's a team of people there that are specific to, different industries. So Armin Farouk, Nick, Jason Bay, these are these people that put together these webinars, which I make our sales team, attend almost on a weekly basis. And they also provide a lot of really good, helpful resources, some things that you can actually download directly. So if you want to check them out, it's just 30mpc.com. It's more specific to, cold calling and email frameworks, but, it's been a game changer for us to make sure that kind of we're doing what some of the other top sales reps are doing for these other big companies, right?
I've never heard of that before. How'd you discover it?
So a long time ago, we trialed ZoomInfo, and through ZoomInfo, I think I was contacted via email, and that's kind of how I got introduced. But now 30MPC has grown, and they work with a lot of like bigger, they work with like Gong and Pipedrive, ZoomInfo, a lot of the tools that we use, Otter, things like that. And so through just kind of following them, so through just kind of following them on social media, we started to do their webinars, and everything is free, right? So it really, really helped. And so even for you, Dr. Jeremy, if it might be good for you to reach out to
it's interesting.
Some of these guys. Yeah. They're on a bigger scale than what we are, but a lot of their, courses and their webinars have definitely helped our team. So
is that how they make money? Is the courses, like the bigger courses, do they sell them?
It's weird. Again, I don't know if I should be saying this, but it's, as soon as you kind of, commit to them, then all their partners come crawling as well. So they definitely have a really good network. Let's just say that. It's interesting.
This is really cool. I appreciate you mentioning it. I'm always looking to learn, and then the audience is always looking to learn of different cool resources. So this is fantastic. Go ahead.
Sorry, and the one last person I want to mention that he's an absolute killer is Jeremy Lee Minor. If you have not checked his stuff out on YouTube or seen his Instagram videos, he's one of the best salespeople of all time. And so he's another guy that we kind of, we look at very intensely and follow some of his strategies.
I've seen his, if you asked me, put in a lineup, someone's picture, I would not be able to pick it out, but I've definitely been retargeted by him. He's on YouTube. He's all over YouTube.
He's all over, yeah.
He's got a good YouTube ad that I've seen him break down like a sales process.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He has tons of those videos. So I think he actually has like, I think he's like
This
the
is him
top.
though, right?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. So I think
Okay.
he's the top. He's one of the top 10 salespeople of all time in terms of, I think it's like sales amounts or sales volume or something crazy like that. So,
Yeah.
you have to be, somebody pretty powerful, and his story is really cool in regards to like, how he got, involved in sales so yeah, now he's just someone that we look at his videos, we study his frameworks, and a lot of the stuff that he says just makes sense. So helps our team.
I love it. HB, I want to be the first one to thank you. Thanks for sharing your lessons, your knowledge, your journey. Everyone can check out beanstalk-growth.com to learn more. And we'll see everyone next time. HB, thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Take care, Dr. Jeremy.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sailing right now. I feel like 100 grand.